Let's do some long division. When we do long division, we're going to use the same 4 steps over and over again until we get our answer. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. Some people like to think, does McDonald's sell burgers? To help them remember the order of dividing, multiply, subtract, and bring down. Let's look at our first problem. All right, remember our order is divide, multiply, subtract, and then bring down. Okay, so first we're going to divide. What is 7 divided by 3? 2. Now we're going to multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. Now we're going to subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. And then we're going to bring down this 4. So I've just completed my 4 steps, but I'm not done yet, right? I still have all these numbers. So I'm going to do the 4 steps over and over and over again until I get my answer. Okay, so I'm back to division. I'm going to divide. What is 14 divided by 3? Or how many times can 3 go into 14? 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. I'm going to subtract. 14 minus 12 is 2. And I'm going to bring down this 3. 23. How many times can 3 go into 23? Or what is 23 divided by 3? That number is a little bit big, so I'm going to show you what it looks like on the multiplication table. I'm looking at my 3 row. I want to get to 23, as close to 23 as possible without going over. So 24 is pretty close to 23, but I went over. So I know that 3 can go into 23 7 times. Put 7 right here. I'm going to multiply. 7 times 3 is 21. I'm going to subtract. I get 2, and then I'm going to bring down this 1. How many times can 3 go into 21? 7 times. 7 times 3 is 21. I'm going to subtract, and I have nothing left over, so I can stop there. Let's do another problem. Okay, let's write our order. We divide, multiply, subtract, and then bring down. Okay, so how many times can 5 go into 2? Well, 2 can't go into 5. I'm sorry, 5 can't go into 2, so we're going to look at 28. How many times can 5 go into 28? 5 times. I'm going to multiply. 5 times 5 is 25. I'm going to subtract, and I get 3, and then I'm going to bring down the 6. Okay, so I just completed my 4 steps, and I'm going back to division. How many times can 5 go into 36? Or what is 36 divided by 5? 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. I subtract, and I get 1, and then I bring down my 4. How many times can 5 go into 14? Okay, so you might know 2, but again, I'm going to show you this multiplication table in case you don't know. Okay, so we're looking at our 5s, and we want to get as close to 14 as possible without going over, okay? So again, 15 is pretty close to 14, but we went over, so we know that we have to go with 2. 2 times. 5 times 2 is 10. I'm going to subtract, and we have 4. Now I have nothing left to bring down, but I have a remainder right here. In elementary school, when you learned long division, you might have stopped right there. You would have said that the answer is 572 with a remainder of 4, but we're going to keep going. When you have a remainder and we need something else to bring down, we're going to add a decimal point, and a 0. So we're going to bring down this 0. We know that if we add a 0 after our decimal point, it does not change this number at all. But you have to remember to bring that decimal with the 0, because if you added that 0 without that decimal point, you've changed this number. It turned into 28,640, but we're really looking at 2,864. So don't forget that decimal point. So we brought down our 0. Now we're going to divide again. What is 40 divided by 5? 8. 8 times 5 is 40. We subtract, we get 0. We have nothing left over, so we know that this is our answer.